Hi guys, it's Ragad here for the first time in a long time. I'm very excited to come back to making videos, especially because I feel like I found some sense of clarity. And now I want to share with you a lot of things. But we're going to start off with a very basic topic, but it has a lot of layers to it. And that is the topic of finding yourself. Over the course of the past 6 years, I've been kind of like, obviously I was younger when 6 years ago. Yeah, because that's how time works, but over the past, let's say 3 years, when I was like 19, I was trying to find myself. There were so many hurdles, struggles, things happening in my life from the outside that I wasn't internalizing well. I wasn't using the best of my ability to deal with them. I was dealing with them in really horrible ways, horrible habits, horrible decisions. And I didn't understand why, which is a stupid idea, but I didn't understand why life was going the way that it was. But there's a core aspect to why life goes that way. There's a core thing that happens that if you change it, your whole life changes. And I can talk about this in a spiritual kind of way, as in like an Islamic sense, or just logical sense, which is also Islamic for me, but for people who aren't really religious. So I want you all to connect with this. That is the voice of reason. We all have this voice in the back of our heads. I'm not talking about the voice that tells you you're ugly or bad things about you. No, I'm talking about the intuition that you have in the back of your head. There's something that's telling you this is wrong. I don't want to do this. You're outside with a friend and you feel like the day has ended. And it's like, okay, go back home. I think it's time to go home. But you're so into the moment that you're like, well, I want to stay. I don't want this moment to end. Listen to the voice of reason because it's telling you the truth. It's guiding you. And if you don't listen to it, then you're going to live your whole life based on emotions that you can't control. Emotions are a byproduct of your experience with the external world, you know? Like, let's put this into perspective. Let's say you're in a relationship or meeting someone for the first time. You know how they say love is blind? It's because love is an emotion. The idea of love's... Okay, I'm gonna get a little deep here. If you see someone across the street and they're really cute and you're like, oh my god, he's so cute, da-da-da, that's your emotions speaking, not your logic. Logic works like this. It sees something that makes sense and it's like, okay, this works for me. It works in a different way than emotions do, right? Emotions are a byproduct of your relationship with things outside of you. You see someone and you're like, I'm gonna give you guys an example as well. Finding someone attractive, that's lust, not love. Love is a decision that is a logical decision that is made, and we don't get that. That's something we need to actually address so we can understand what love is. Because a lot of people mistake it for lust. And that's a topic for another time, but my whole point is listen to the voice of reason. And I'm going to give you also another example of like when it comes to relationships, and this is just my new perspective and I really like it, so I really hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So let's say you're at the top of a hill and like this is like the hill, right? Then there's the bottom and the bottom's like straight. And there's houses in the bottom. You either look down, you look at the houses, and if they're ugly, you're like, there's no point in going down this road even though the hill's pretty. So you leave. Or you don't look and you walk down the hill and halfway through you realize the house is ugly but you're already far gone. You know what I'm saying? I think you understand what I'm saying. If you look at someone, when it comes to relationships, so this isn't even what this video is about, but I don't know why it's leaning towards that. But anyways, when you're not logical about your decision, you're going to be blind when it comes to finally making the decision to stay or leave. That's why a lot of people are in unhappy relationships because they let lust lead the way. And yeah, that's about it for that situation. Now let's come back to the main point, which is finding yourself. The voice of reason is the voice that tells you the truth about what you should do with your life. The voice of reason is what's meant to guide you. And I know a lot of the times we hear ourselves, we hear the voice. We know that something's telling us this is a bad situation. People say it's your gut feeling, but it's not just your gut feeling. It's intuition that's in the back of your head. And I know that a lot of us, we just dismiss it. You know what I mean? I've been dismissing it. I've dismissed it for the longest time. I was literally like, when I was younger, I would know. I get this feeling in my heart and I'm like, not like an emotion, like just a feeling. And I feel like there's a very big distinction between both. I say feelings are a byproduct of you. Emotions are a byproduct of other people, other experiences and other external factors, but that's another thing. So back to the whole point, right? When you hear the voice of logic speak to you, the voice of reason speaks to you in the back of your head and make you feel a certain kind of way, that's what you should listen to. You know, the gut feeling that tells you the night has ended, go home. There is no point you go to this party, you know, you're not gonna enjoy it, you're gonna do this and that and whatever. It's always there, and it tells you exactly what's gonna happen if you do the thing that you want to do, but you still choose to ignore it, and that's the dumbest thing you can do. And that's something I had to learn over the course of the past 3 years, right? Like since I've been an adult, I've tried to navigate my life and be like, you know what, I'm gonna be a different person, whatever. But the thing is, you already are what you are. you already have what you are actually. Because if you want to become the person that you're proud of, understand that person is already there. It's not something you seek out. And that's what I see with these glow up videos. It's like, oh, get your nails done and like take care of your body and all that stuff matters. But if the internal is bad, what's the point of the driver of the car? Wait. That's a whole analogy on itself, right? If the engine doesn't work that well, it doesn't matter if you polish the car. You need to fix the engine. That's how you work. I'm saying, like, yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of us don't understand that change definitely comes within, but we don't talk about it practically. We don't make sense of it. We don't give people like the steps of like how are you going to change yourself internally, because some people think it's like writing down affirmations, talking to yourself in the mirror, and it's not just that. It's understanding that there's a voice within you that's telling you exactly what to do. You're not meant to look for it on the outside. You're meant to sit down and ponder. That's why a lot of people journal and reflect and meditate, and like that's to the point of like enlightenment or whatever. You're meant to sit with yourself. You're meant to think about who you are, your thought patterns, the voice of reason. And when you quiet your mind down from all the rambles of the like external factors and the external situations and the external things that you've heard, whatever, basically like the outside world or the voice in your head that tells you bad things about yourself that aren't true. When you quiet that noise down, you start to listen to the voice of reason and you're gonna understand what it's telling you. So on finding yourself, all I have to say is this: the most basic situation, if you want to find yourself, you need to look inside. Finding yourself is finding yourself, not your external self. You know what I mean? It's literally in the word, finding yourself. It's in you. It's not in the external world. It's not in the house that you live in or the bags that you own or whatever. If you want to change your life, you have to change the inside, because that changes everything. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. The only thing I want to leave you guys with now, because it's 7 minutes in and like, yeah, I've talked a lot. If you want to change your life, listen to the voice of reason. And the voice of reason is going to guide you all the way through. That's it. Bye, guys.